Alright, here is my album cover. The first thing that you guys are going to want to do is crop your photograph to a square. Album covers are not rectangular, and rectangular is what comes out of the camera. So very first thing you want to do is go over to the crop tool, and in your width and your height you're going to want to put 8.5. So up here, if you don't already have it, 8.5, and if you push tab it'll go to the next one, 8.5 inches, and then your resolution is going to be 150. So your version is a little bit different. You're actually, once you put those numbers in, you're going to have to take the crop tool and drag it over. So you notice that you actually drag it over and then it selects a part of your image. Let me start this over. You're not going to see me crop anything down because I've already done it, but I'm going to select the whole image and I'm going to press enter, and that'll crop your image down. If it makes it really small on your screen, you can just push Control-0 or Control+ to zoom in. So there's my my image. I've already cropped it. This is the resolution I'm going to need it to be in. It's important to do that because when you start adding your text and your other things, you don't want to have to crop your image down later and realize that you didn't size things correctly. So now that I have my picture here, what you can do, you can either use some quick selection tools to select your portrait and remove the person from their background. So if you unlock your layer and then use a mask, you can remove your subject from the background and bring in an image from the internet. For this one, I'm going to keep the background. I'm just going to do Control-Z and get rid of the selection. But what I'm going to do is bring in, I already copied it from the internet. I'm going to go Edit, Paste, and I brought in this watercolor image that I like. So I'm going to set this in here, and I'm going to hold Shift as I extend it and make it bigger. And then if you'll remember some of your previous projects, we're just going to do a blending mode here. So if I click on where it says normal, there's all these different blend options. And if I, with this highlighted blue, if I use my arrow keys, I can cycle through and see the different ways that painting layer is blending with the layer beneath it. So I'm just going to cycle through here and see. Overlay is good. I'm going to see if there's some ones that I like. I'm looking for something that kind of just blends in with that background, that blue container. Isn't too overpowering. I think I'm going to go with this one here. Okay. Now I like it on the blue container, the background, but I'm not really, I don't want it to be on her face. So on this layer, I'm going to go ahead and add a mask, and then with my foreground color black, I'm going to go to my brush, make my brush a little smaller, and now I can just brush this away so that it's affecting the blue container, but it's not doing anything on her. Let's just remove all this here. Okay. So now I could go in, and I should go in a little closer here and get the edges, but just for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to keep moving along. So she's got a little bit of green in her hair. So I've done an interesting double exposure or just blending of layers, making an interesting thing. Now the text tool. So now we're going to be adding text into this. And let me go ahead and show you. Right here are your different fonts. So you can go through and see what the different fonts are. This is your font size. The largest one that you can select from here is 72, but you can go in here and type in your own number as well. So you can make it a lot larger. So let's go ahead and, let me go, hold on a second. Let me go to my text tool, 100, and I'm going to click there to set it. And so I'm going with my artist's name for my album cover. I'm just going to use her name. And if I go highlight the text, now I can go through and preview how these different fonts are going to look. So take your time, go through, find a font that you like. It's kind of a selection process here. So I decided to capitalize her whole name. Here's the text tool. Now, if I go back to the text tool and I highlight and activate this, I can change the color of the font by clicking on that box right there. And I can either select things within this color box, or I can go actually sample from the image, and it will give me a color from my project. Now if I push Control T, I can go ahead and extend the font, and you may look at it and go like, oh, it's kind of blending in with the image there. What I can do is go down here to Effects, and then I've got a bunch of different options that I can do to my text. I can add a drop shadow. I can, let's see, add an outline around the whole text. There's plenty of options in here that go ahead and explore and see which ones you like. Now, one of the things I've wanted to do is make it look like this is the text is behind her. So if I go over here, so what I'm going to do is go to my text layer. I'm going to add a mask. Then I'm going to go to my brush, check my brush. I want to get a real hard edge brush. So that was not it. Let me zoom in here. Take the hardness all the way up. Okay, so now maybe a little closer. What I'm going to do is just go to the mask here, probably make my brush a little bit smaller, and I'm just going to brush away and make it look like those letters are behind her. So let's take a look here at how the effect is going. I could do a variety of things. I could use the pen tool. I could do some other things to make it look like the text is behind her. It's kind of a little funny behind her hair. I'm going to go and clean that up a little bit. Alright, so I went and cleaned it up a little bit more. Now I'm going to add the name of the album. So if I go to my text tool, I want to make this text go down. So let's put in our album cover name. And you'll see that font is too big, so let me highlight it and make it 60 point, maybe, let's try 48. Alright, so there is my album name, and it's kind of basic. I'd probably do a little bit more if I wasn't doing a tutorial at the moment. But here's my project, and I've got my core requirements. So I've got my photograph right here, and I've brought in something that's working as like a blend layer, and these are my two text layers. I added a drop shadow and a stroke around that layer, and then this one here is just kind of basic at the moment, but those are the requirements. Those are the things to incorporate in your album project. All right, thanks for watching.